Hello! Today, I bring information about images of a large object filmed on the surface of the Sun. My only request is that you subscribe, like, and share. This way, you will encourage my hours of research and production. Also tell me what you think of this topic. Comment here, I will read your comment with great satisfaction. In this way, we can interact for real. The images you are seeing now show the surface of the Sun. They were taken by a space telescope about 9 years ago, during a 7-day period between March 6 and 12, 2012. An image of the Earth for comparison was inserted to show how large and massive our Sun is. The telescope began filming on March 6. On March 9, 3 days after the start of the filming, we began to see a spherical object. It is also possible to see some stripes between the object and the Sun. On March 12, the object quickly moves away from the surface of the Sun. At the same time, the stripes between the object and the Sun disappear and a large shock wave spreads. I remember this as if it were yesterday. In 2012, this filming spread quickly to websites around the world. Everyone and everything was talking about it. This footage is not a movie scene nor an animation made by a computer. It is a real recording of the surface of the Sun downloaded from a website called Helio Viewer. The Helio Viewer is a partnership project between the American Space Agency NASA and the European Space Agency ESA. The project's goal is to allow anyone to monitor the surface of the Sun at any time and at no cost. All these recordings are made by space telescopes installed on the ground or outside the Earth's atmosphere. The stripes seen between the object and the Sun apparently show a quiet absorbing the Sun's plasma. Of course, we cannot deny the possibility that this is simply a natural phenomenon. However, if that is not the case, this would certainly be more interesting than any science fiction movie. Interestingly, the same mysterious object shown in this 2012 footage has been observed several times since then. In 2016, another telescope captured images of a mysterious sphere. However, a part of the sphere was hidden by the Sun and we could not see the stripes observed in the previous footage. In 2017, a spherical object appeared again on the surface of the Sun. This time, strip-like substances were clearly seen between that object and the Sun. Then, on November 30, 2016, a photo taken by the Helio Viewer went viral on the internet. We can see a long strip stretching across the surface of the Sun with a white object in the other proximity. If we zoom in on the photo, we can see the shape of the object. Although there is no provided image to compare the sizes, we can deduce that the object is quite massive and clearly larger than Earth. The next photos I will show were taken by Soho, another partnership project of NASA and ESA. So, what this photo shows us is that the mysterious object is moving at high speed around the Sun. However, the mysteries do not stop there. Take a look at this other photo. You can see many lights, all of them seems to be moving at high speed. The shapes vary a little from object to object. For example, this one seems to have the shape of a butterfly. As mentioned earlier, the Helio Viewer and Soho sites are open to the public. You can easily imagine the flood of questions sent to NASA about these mysterious photos. It has been said that most of the questions about whether these spherical objects, long strips, and illuminated objects were caused by some type of equipment failure or reflection. Strangely, NASA kept silence about this. NASA's behavior raised many suspicions. However, after an incident occurred in 2018, things only got worse. The National Solar Observatory, NSO, is an observatory located in New Mexico and specialized in solar observation. On September 6, 2018, this observatory was suddenly invaded by FBI agents. The observatory workers were surprised to receive these unusual visitors, but were even more surprised by an announcement they received. this observatory is being closed due to a credible security risk. The workers were forced to return home immediately and did not understand what had happened. They were told that the FBI would not answer any questions for security reasons. Even more surprising, a distance band was placed around the observatory after all the workers returned home. Many agents were posted on site for 24-hour surveillance, and even a military helicopter was sent to the observatory. During a press conference, the FBI announced that the National Solar Observatory would be closed indefinitely for security reasons. 11 days later, on September 17, the workers were finally allowed to return to work. Things seemed to have returned to normal. However, journalists noticed something strange during the period when the National Solar Observatory in New Mexico was closed. Other observatories within the United States, such as Pennsylvania and Hawaii, and also in other countries such as Spain, Australia, and Chile, were also closed by orders issued by their respective local governments. Curiously, all of these observatories that were closed are specialized in solar observation, which can hardly be considered a coincidence. It's normal to suspect that there's something more behind this. For 11 days, the reason for the closure of these observatories had to be kept secret by society, which increases suspicions even more. Coincidentally, an amateur astronomer used his own equipment to take a photo of the sun on September 11th, and his photo shows a disc-shaped object close to the sun. He also took photos the next day, September 12th, where a large number of illuminated objects can be seen. All of these objects appear to be moving at high speed. On September 11th, the United States National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, released an announcement about the status of the sun, mentioning that an extremely high number of coronal holes appeared on the sun that day. An aurora that occurred in Alaska was also observed for about an hour. During this period, solar activity underwent an extremely significant change, 3 times higher than normal for phenomena of this type. Given this fact, we can affirm that there was a significant change in solar activity during the 11 days that the observatories were closed. If the objects and lights seen in the images and videos cannot be explained as natural phenomena or technical failures, one possibility is that they are advanced technologies capable of approaching the sun freely and returning safely. Is this the product of a more advanced civilization than ours? Maybe these beings use the sun as a source of energy or are controlling its activity cycle. Regardless of the truth, I believe it would be dangerous for humanity to try to contact other civilizations, especially with our current level of scientific knowledge. I am very happy that you have stayed with me until here. Much peace. Until the next video.